week 12 of the fantasy basketball season. And here's a few centers I would look to buy low and trade for this week. The first guy's Andre Drummond of the Cleveland Cavaliers. So Andre Drummond, we're going to have a resolution any day now with the trade deadline a week from today on March 25th. So Drummond here, him and the Cavs about 3 to 4 weeks ago agreed that they're going to find a mutual interest in try to find him a trade and see where he goes. But the problem with that is Andre Drummond, he has $28.7 million left on his expiring contract this season. So if they can't find a trade, a buyout will probably be in the works here. But I think the Cavs, they should try to go out there and trade him. And if they don't trade him, the Nets and Los Angeles Lakers will be the two front runners to sign Andre Drummond, according to reports. But the New York Knicks, they want to trade for him, multi-year deal as well. So the Knicks, they can maybe trade a Kevin Knox and a second rounder for Drummond, or he'll go get bought out and go to a contender. But anyway, on the season, he was having a great year with Drummond, ranked 85th in fantasy basketball, 17.5 points a game, 13.5 rebounds, 2.6 assists, 1.6 steals, 1.2 blocks, 59% from the line, which he was always a bad foul shooter, and 47% from the field. So Drummond, like I said, in a week, 10 days, we're going to know where he's going to go. We'll see where he lands. And no matter where he lands, he's still going to have good fantasy value. And right now, while he's just sitting on an owner's bench or on their IL Plus list, he's a player to go get before he goes to another team and starts putting up numbers. And his value's at an all-time high. Well, right now, his value's at an all-time low. So go out there and trade for Drummond. The next center is James Wiseman of the Golden State Warriors. He's going to be out 7 days now with the health and safety protocols he's got to follow. I guess he got exposed or whatever the deal was, but right now he was on a good pace and coming back into shape after he missed a few weeks with an injury. Was James Wiseman on the season. He's ranked 250th in fantasy basketball, 11.8 points a game, 6 rebounds, a block a game, 61% from the foul line, and 52% from the field. But the last couple weeks, he's kicked it into gear since he returned. 12 points a game, 7.5 rebounds, 42% from the line, which obviously hurts owners, and 56% from the field for Wiseman. So Wiseman, he was starting to get things going for this Golden State Warrior team. But now he's going to miss a week, and that'll take us to week 13, week 14, depending if he misses a week or more here. But he's a player, I don't think you got to give up much to get him. Now on top of it, with him being out a week, you could go out there and trade for him, or even pick him up in the shallow list of leagues, because he's only owned in 70% of fantasy leagues. And I think James Wiseman, he could finish the season strong. We still got 4 or 5 more weeks till the postseason in fantasy basketball. Right now, I would make a move for Wiseman. He's going to help in scoring. He's going to be a decent rebounder, and he can block a shot or two a game. In the last few games before he's been out, March 11th at the Clippers, 14 points, 7 rebounds, and a 3. March 14th versus the Utah Jazz, 16 points, 4 rebounds, a block. And then March 15th versus the Los Angeles Lakers, 7 points, 8 rebounds, and an assist for Wiseman. So Wiseman, he was putting up good stats, and he's a player you could buy on the low. And now him out for a week, you definitely could get him on a discount. The next center is Steven Adams at the New Orleans Pelicans. It's been an up and down season for Steven Adams with his new ball club this season. So Adams here, he's been playing pretty decent the last few weeks. On the season, he's ranked 181 on the year, 8.1 points a game, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 45% from the foul line, which kills that percentage, and 62% from the field. But the last couple weeks, he's picked it up, 10 points a game, 4 rebounds, 1.4 assists, 53% from the foul line, and an amazing 75% from the field. So Adams, he's getting easier scoring lanes. He's getting to the basket better, and a lot of more putbacks as well. Steven Adams is doing for this Pelican team. March 12th versus Cleveland, 10 points, 17 rebounds, 2 assists. March 14th versus the Clippers, 9 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. And then March 16th at Portland, 4 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. So the last couple games, the numbers have dropped after that big 10 point, 17 rebound game for Adams, but Adams, he could still help in field goal percentage. He's still a good rebounder, and he could still score double digits in my opinion. And this season, it just hasn't been as good as a year for him as it been with the Thunder throughout his career, with his points per game going down 3, but his rebounding and everything else is pretty much the same for Adams. So Adams, I think you could get him on a buy low. He's been pretty frustrating to own, in my opinion. I have him in one league, and he's had a lot of ups and downs, and right now, if I can make a move for him and not have to give up a lot, this is the time to do it, because I think Adams, he's going to break out any day now for this Pelican team. The next end is Jusuf Nurkic of the Portland Trailblazers. Nurkic, he should be back in a week or two now for this Trailblazer team. 2 weeks is the report from the devastating wrist injury on the season. He was ranked 178 in fantasy basketball before he got hurt. 9.8 points a game, 7.7 rebounds, and 2.8 assists, 55% from the foul line and 48% from the field. So Nurkic, the numbers were way down from the 2019-2020 season, where he averaged 18 and 10 with 4 assists. But I think Nurkic, even with the injury and the time off, he's going to get into the thick of things, and he's going to play well and do better than he did on the season with the 9.8 and the 7.7. And I think Portland, they need that little boost in their lineup right now, even though Damian Lillard, he's pushing to try to get LaMarcus Aldridge back over here in Portland after the Spurs and him agreed to part ways. So we'll see what happens with Aldridge. We're going to see a lot of trades go down within the next week here, where we see a few happen yesterday with P.J. Tucker going to Milwaukee and Myers Leonard going to the Thunder. But anyway, Nurkic, he's going to come back, and I think he's going to be a good asset for the Trailblazers and for fantasy owners. And right now, while his value is still low and he's not back on the court, this is the time to go out there and trade for him in the 5th and final center. I will look to try to trade for or buy low this week Serge Ibaka of the Los Angeles Clippers. So Ibaka, he's missed the last few games now with a bad back injury, but I think he should be back towards the end of the week or early next week. On the season, he's averaging 10.9 points a game, 6.7 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 1.2 blocks a game, 82% from the foul line, and 50% from the field for Serge Ibaka. But like I said, he's missed the last 2 games now, and it's been a struggle for him from last season to this season. Last year, his points were at 15 a game. This year, they're only at 10. His rebounds were at 8.2. This year, only 6.7 for Ibaka, and even his field goal percentage is down just a bit in the last couple weeks. He's ranked 205 with only 8 points a game, 7.5 rebounds. So it's been a big struggle for Serge. But right now, I think the Clippers, they're going to need him in a big way. And they're going to need some big performances out of him. So I think Ibaka, he could break out of this slump, and he could produce for the Clippers and fantasy owners. And right now, while he's banged up and down, this is the time to go buy him low. So that's a few centers I would look to buy low or trade for here in Week 12 of the fantasy basketball season.